to rise above it. He even ran an ad this week from that debate, and he's come out with this message that he represents the grown-up wing of the Democratic Party. And it's, you know, they're characterizing it spin, 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 that, you know, he's doing better here than, or did better tonight than they had expected to. And they insist that they will go on and fight in Super Tuesday states and even beyond, that they will put up ads. But there has to be a point at which, you know, either money runs out or a realization clicks in that this is a very difficult position from which to wage a campaign. On the other hand, I can tell you, Tony, his aides insist that if you look at the math, if you see how closely Obama and Clinton are splitting the delegate count, there is a mathematical scenario in which John Edwards can place second or even third all the way along and still somehow become the nominee out of a deadlocked Democratic convention. It would require a lot of ifs and a lot of dots, but that's what they're hanging on to, and they say that they will stay and fight to the end. Tony?
He does seem determined. All right, Jessica Yellen for us. Jessica, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, he scored a big win in South Carolina, and now Barack Obama is getting a big name endorsement. Caroline Kennedy, the daughter of the late President John F. Kennedy, endorses Obama in Sunday's New York Times. In an op-ed piece called "A President Like My Father," she writes, "Sometimes it takes a while to recognize that someone has a special ability to get us to believe in ourselves, to tie that belief to our highest ideals, and imagine that together we can do great things. In those rare moments when such a person comes along, we need to put aside our plans and reach for what we know is possible." Obama has also picked up the endorsement of Missouri's St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The paper also endorsed Republican John McCain. Missouri holds its party primaries on Super Tuesday. That's February 5th. And a big boost for Senator McCain in Florida just 3 days before that state's Republican primary. Governor Charlie Crist says he is backing McCain, a man he calls a true American hero.
I have been thinking about it a lot. And I have to tell you that after thinking about it as much as I have, I don't think anybody would do better than the man who stands next to me, Senator John McCain. That's an endorsement.
Well, today it was Governor Crist. Yesterday, McCain picked up the endorsement of Florida's only Republican Senator, Mel Martinez. And don't miss the big showdowns in the Wild Wild West next week. The candidates will face off in California, their last debates before Super Tuesday. That's January 30th for the Republican candidates and the 31st for the Democrats. And you can see them only on CNN, your home for politics. Now, if you missed any of the candidates' speeches from South Carolina tonight, make sure you stay right where you are. We will be replaying some highlights a little later in the hour. But next, a mother of two was murdered. The suspect, her husband. But the amazing part of the story is the prosecution's key witness, the murder victim herself.
I'm a new soul. I came to this strange world hoping I could learn a bit about how to give and take. I'm a young soul in this very strange world hoping I could learn a bit about what is true and fake. La 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 la.
Can a car company grow in harmony with the environment? Why not? At Toyota, we're not only working toward cars with zero emissions, we're also striving for zero waste in everything else we do. Because the best way to have an impact on the environment is to have as little impact as possible.
Due to our successful TV and radio campaigns, America's largest manufacturer of steel buildings is offering huge savings on select models.
My husband wanted a building where he could store all of his valuable belongings. Well, I wanted something that would look great on our property. We both found what we wanted at U.S. Buildings.
They're durable, long-lasting, even fire-resistant.
Thanks to their easy-to-read step-by-step construction manual and excellent customer support, our building was constructed in 1 weekend.
These specials won't last long. Buy now and save. Call U.S. Buildings today.
CNN Monday night. President Bush's State of the Union, what it means to you, and the race for the White House. Live from the CNN Election Center. CNN Monday night, 8 Eastern.
I watch the best movies on Oh, yeah. It's begun.
Stars, the ultimate movie destination, with a new hit movie premiering every Saturday night with more channels, more choices, more movies. Over 600 different movies each month.
Movie lovers, unite!
Tune in this month for Ghost Rider on Stars, channels 520 and 521.
Hey, man, it's your turn to get in the game. If I can lose weight, so can you.
It was easy. The weight started falling off, and I started feeling great about myself.
Losing never felt so good.
It's time for you to lose weight, too. Order Nutrisystem Advanced, and we'll ship you 4 weeks of delicious meals. Plus, get free membership, free counseling, and free shipping. But wait, call 888-554-0070 to find out how you can get 70 extra meals absolutely free.
Broken government, critical condition. Thursday after the CNN debate.
You know, 10 years makes a murder case about as cold as it can get, right? Normally, yes, unless something extraordinary happens. Get ready to hear about something extraordinary. A murder victim's words are finally being heard in court. Here's CNN's Gary Tuckman.
Julie Jensen is dead, murdered almost a decade ago. From nearly the beginning, police thought they knew who did it. Why? Because Julie left a message behind.
Julie Jensen lived in this comfortable house in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, with her husband Mark and their 2 little boys. To most outsiders, their life seemed to be perfect, but that was definitely not the case. In November 1998, Julie went to her next-door neighbor's house and gave him a sealed envelope with a letter inside, saying he should give the letter to police if anything happened to her.
12 days later, Julie Jensen was found dead in her bedroom. An autopsy revealed she had been poisoned with antifreeze. But a pathologist now says she ultimately died from being smothered. As for that letter she left behind, this is what she wrote.
I pray I'm wrong and nothing happens, but I am suspicious of Mark's suspicious behaviors and fear for my early demise.
Her husband, Mark. And yet his arrest and the case against him was delayed for years, because even though her message from the grave seemed so strong, it almost became useless.
Why would such a telling letter that might explain Julie Jensen's death almost become useless? Coming up, Gary will explain and tell us what her husband and his lawyer have to say about a letter that could send him to prison for life.
Hey, man, it's your turn to get in the game. If I can lose weight, so can you.
It was easy. The weight started falling off, and I started feeling great about myself.
Losing never felt so good.
It's time for you to lose weight, too. Order Nutrisystem Advanced, and we'll ship you 4 weeks of delicious meals. Plus, get free membership, free counseling, and free shipping. But wait, call or go to Nutrisystem.com/70 to find out how you can get 70 extra meals absolutely free.
The sun used to make our outdoor deck and patio space so hot and uncomfortable, we couldn't use it.
But then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning.
It provides instant protection from the sun's harmful rays.
It keeps our patio about 20 degrees cooler.
And now you can get your Sunsetter for as little as $398 when you call now to get this $200 discount certificate and free awning idea kit.
Call now for your free awning idea kit and $200 discount certificate. Call 1-800-492-4211.
Okay, before the break, Gary Tuckman told us about a mother of 2 in Wisconsin who was found dead in her bedroom, poisoned with antifreeze and smothered. Now this mother is essentially testifying from the grave in her husband's murder trial. Here again is our Gary Tuckman to tell us how she can do that and how it's turned this murder case upside down.
Just a few days before Julie Jensen was found dead, she gave a neighbor a letter that said she feared her husband was trying to kill her. Normally, a defendant has a constitutional right to confront his accuser, so a letter like this can't be used in trial. But this case has taken a dramatic twist. The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that right has been forfeited because of probable cause the defendant had something to do with Julie Jensen not being able to testify. Her 4 brothers are attending the trial.
Do you think without the letter, he would have been found guilty?
That's hard to say.
Finally, after 9 long years,
Mark Jensen can clear his name.
The defense does not believe Julie Jensen was smothered and says she was treated for depression and killed herself, writing the letter to frame a husband, having an affair with a woman he later married.
She poisoned herself, and therefore she did not want or need any help.
But the testimony from the grave appeared to anticipate an allegation of suicide.
I would never take my life because of my kids. They are everything to me. But if anything happens to me, he would be my first suspect.
The Jensen boys, who were then 8 and 3, now live with their stepmother while their father is in jail without bond. On the block where they used to live, one neighbor says Julie Jensen's boys were her world.
She would not have killed herself under any circumstances because of her 2 sons.
The defense, though, says allowing the letter is unfair. Its content's misleading.
What protection does a letter provide? Open it after my death? I mean, that stuff's out of the movies.
But after years of hearings, a jury is now listening to Julie Jensen.
And in the words of his defense lawyer, finally, I get to say finally. Julie's voice is going to be heard, finally.
The jury will have to decide if that voice speaks the truth. Gary Tuckman, CNN, Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Boy, what a story. Something new from our friends at CNN.com and True TV. They've teamed up to bring you the best crime coverage on the web. Go behind the police tape and into the courtroom like never before at CNN.com/crime. And one of our top stories tonight, a tearful apology from the gunman in the notorious Pamela Smart case. Remember that one? For more, go to CNN.com/crime. All right, tons of rain, muddy California hillsides, and this is what you get. Man, the West Coast is getting hammered by wave after wave of mean winter storms. There are voluntary evacuation orders in place for people living in several canyons, anticipating up to 8 inches of rain through tomorrow. Enough with the water already. Up near Sacramento, they're already saturated and fed up with the severe weather. This is the same region. You may recall that lost power for several days when storms pounded them just about 2 weeks ago. So we're talking about a gauntlet of really tough weather sitting out there for Californians all weekend. Let's get the particulars. There she is, Jackie Jarris in the CNN Severe Weather Center. Good evening to you, Jackie.
Good evening, Tony. Good evening, everybody. It's going to be a rough rest of the weekend for California. You know, we've been in this lull throughout most of the day today, and it's been about 2 hours now that moisture has pulled back in. You can see it's flowing in from the south. Overall, relatively light at this hour, but we think some heavier showers and thunderstorms will be picking up, particularly tomorrow afternoon, and we may even see some water spouts turn into tornadoes as they make their way on land, and some lightning along with those heavy downpours. Here are some of the burn areas that we've been talking about. There's San Bernardino, there's Los Angeles up there, and so the rain moves into the higher elevations and it comes down at a heavier rate because of some of that lift involved there. Now, take a look at this little swirl here on our satellite picture. That's our upper level system that's been sitting here and spinning, and now as it drops southward, you can see it's starting to tap into some of the subtropical moisture, and that's why we think that some of the rainfall rates are going to be so extremely heavy. In fact, we could see the rain come down at a rate of 1/2 of an inch to an inch per hour overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow. So we're looking at 2 to 3 inches into the valleys and the coastal areas, 4 to 8 inches into the mountains. You get up into the higher elevations, and we're talking about a good foot or so of snowfall. So landslides and mudslides will be of grave concern. And this is not just into the burn areas. This is really everywhere across Southern California that's so very wet. On the northern tier of the system, as our cold air moves into place, we get that onshore flow here. We're going to see some heavy snow up there as well. 1 to 3 feet in the Cascades through Monday, 7 to 14 inches in the Bitterroots, and 10 to 15 inches down there in the Wasatch. So the West really getting walloped all weekend long. This isn't going to wind down until, say, midday Monday.
Whoa.
Tony?
Whoa, and, you know, drought conditions out there, but this is insane. You can't get it all at once.
You want to spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Okay, Jackie, appreciate it. Thank you. And don't forget, we're going to bring you some of the highlights from the Democratic candidates' speeches after the results in South Carolina. That is coming up for you in about 10 minutes from now. But next, if you're a parent watching us this evening, we've got 2 hot-button issues for your schools and your kids. First, a superintendent who wants to fire the entire staff at some of his schools because he says they're just not performing. But can he do it? Also, another superintendent who will go knocking on doors to track down truant students. You won't believe the excuses they come up with.
Fed up with snoring? Introducing new Snore Relief Throat Strips from Breathe Right. At night, throat tissues can become dry and vibrate, but new Snore Relief Throat Strips gently lubricate throat tissues to help keep them quiet. They help 2 out of 3 couples sleep more peacefully at night. Breathe better, sleep better with new Wintergreen Snore Relief Throat Strips from Breathe Right.
Beneful? You're definitely thinking Beneful. With wholesome grains, real beef, even carrots and peas, you only think you're getting spoiled. Spoiled? And it's good for you too.
Healthful, flavorful, Beneful.
Meet the Buttertons.
Back then, a lot of us were like the Buttertons.
Dinner's ready. Golly, that sure looks delicious. Let's eat.
We didn't know much about saturated fat and cholesterol.
Yummy.
Today, we know better. I Can't Believe It's Not Butter is made with a blend of nutritious oils, so it has 70% less saturated fat than butter, with a fresh butter taste. So don't be a Butterton. Now, we know better. I can't believe it's not butter.
Now that you know better, you could win $1 million. Play the game at NowYouKnowBetter.com.
Fire all teachers. Seems like an extreme move to help America's failing schools get back on track, but Chicago's school chief says it's the only way, at least in his district. Susan Rosejan has the details.
Next year at Chicago's Harper High School, the hallways and lockers may be the same, but all 130 teachers and support staff could be gone.
We have a moral obligation to come in and do something dramatically better for those children now. We cannot wait.
Chicago's school superintendent wants to fire bad teachers at 8 failing public schools, so he's willing to lay them all off and make them reapply for their jobs. Last year at this one high school, 95% of the students flunked the state academic exam.
Here at Harper High School, the principal says the prospect of getting new teachers is fabulous. The teachers union says not so fast.
How can you blame the teachers when everybody, I mean, there's accountability all up and down the line. There's parent accountability, there's district accountability, there's a principal accountability, there's teacher accountability, and there's student accountability. So how can you just blame a teacher who has a child for 6 hours a day? We're doing our job.
Firing the teachers is not a done deal. Chicago's school board will vote on the plan next month. Susan Rosejan, CNN, Chicago.
And boy, do we have a hot button debate for you tomorrow night. I will be talking with the Chicago School Superintendent, Arne Duncan, and the president of the Chicago Teachers Union, Marilyn Stewart. You saw them both in Susan's story there about this controversial plan. That conversation, debate, argument, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And can you believe this? About half the high schoolers in one Colorado district regularly don't show up for school. Now the school chief says he's had enough, and he is taking a very in-your-face approach to solve the problem. KUSA's Nelson Garcia reports from Aurora, Colorado.
If you're skipping school in Aurora today, Superintendent John Berry and his staff are looking for you.
I'm Superintendent Barry of the Aurora Public Schools. Yes, and I'm trying to see if we can get our students back to school.
They're going to 100 homes.
All right, I'll just leave this on the door then.
Some are just empty doorways.
Okay, next one.
Others give Barry some hope.
You know, she's been absent from school quite a bit. I'll talk to you.
So family relationships?
It's all part of a larger effort to cut down on cutting class.
And to know that we care about them enough that we want to invite them back.
Barry and Police Chief Daniel Oates are renewing efforts to keep kids in school.
Nearly everything that can happen to a truant during school hours is bad.
The truancy problem just doesn't add up. According to Aurora Public Schools, it considers about 50% of all high school students to be habitually truant, leading to 622 crimes committed last year during school hours and leading to 242 arrests. No matter how you cut it, that equals big trouble.
All of this is preventable. Every single crime that's represented on this chart is preventable if the child had chosen to stay in school.
That's why the former Air Force general is here. That's why students will have more access to an increased number of mentors and case managers if they need them. Barry's goal is to cut the truancy rate from 50% to 0, one student at a time.
I think she was very positive about it, and then she's, a lot of them are just looking for some help sometimes.
One family at a time. On the Education Beat, Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Edwards. We've got the highlights from their post-primary speeches. That's coming up next in the newsroom.
Coverage of America Votes 2008 is sponsored by Hyundai. Discover the power of thoughtful engineering at thinkaboutit.com. Visit the Election Center at cnn.com/election for in-depth information on the candidates.
Instant gratification has us in a stranglehold. So much so that we don't want to fix things anymore. Just replace them. Don't like your nose? Get a new one. Don't like your job? Get a new one. Don't like your spouse? Get a new one. Whatever happened to commitment?
The 2008 Sonata, ready for the long haul with America's best warranty and $1,000 cash back.
This is the One Touch Ultra Mini. As you can see, it's pretty simple as blood glucose meters go. Nothing fancy, nothing to figure out. It gives you a number quickly, then slips back into a pocket or a purse so you can just get on with it. And now the One Touch Ultra Mini is available in 3 new crowd-pleasing colors at absolutely no charge. Very nice. Call 1-866-469-8193 to see if you qualify. One touch changes everything.
1 out of 7 means they can all fall down. Except for Sarah, the uninsured. It's not just a number or a graph in a report. It's people with simple needs like wanting to provide for a child. 1 out of 7 of us is uninsured. To the American Medical Association, this is not just a statistic. It's a tragedy. Vote with this issue in mind. Visit voicefortheuninsured.org.
I smoked for forever. I can't count how many times I tried quitting.
I can't tell you the number of times I tried quitting.
Yeah, I worried about my health, but even that didn't help me quit.
I would start out strong, then my willpower would fade.
Now I know.
For me, smoking is more than a habit. Smoking is a nicotine addiction.
That's why I found it so hard to quit.
That's why it was so hard for me to quit.
The good news? Proven medical advances have been made in understanding nicotine addiction. For more information on how to quit smoking and how support can help, visit mytimetoquit.com or call 1-866-239-8729.
I didn't have to blame myself.
I know what kept stopping me.
For free information about a plan to quit smoking and to find out about a prescription treatment option, visit mytimetoquit.com or call 1-866-239-8729.
Now I understand.
I think about quitting in a whole different way.
I knew it was my time to quit.
I knew it was my time.
I knew it was my time to quit.
This time I did it.
Visit mytimetoquit.com or call now.
Closed captioning hours provided by Gold Bond First Aid, the quick fix for every itch.
Winter skin itch. Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream. It helps stop itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Gold Bond Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
South Carolina's Democrats choose Senator Barack Obama in a big way on primary day. Here are the numbers with just about all the polling places reporting. Senator Barack Obama receives 55% of the South Carolina Democratic vote. That's more than double the support cast for his nearest rival, Senator Hillary Clinton, with 27%. Former Senator and South Carolina native John Edwards, he picks up 18% of the vote, and that is a distant third place. South Carolina gives us a chance to see how the presidential race could play out in key demographics. Let's bring in Charles Bierbauer, the Dean of the College of Mass Communications at the University of South Carolina and a former CNN Politico who has covered his share of presidential campaigns. Charles, great to see you again.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, so we look at the South Carolina primary tonight, and some may say, here's what you had here, Tony. Blacks and a few whites voted for Barack Obama, and whites mostly voted for white candidates. Or did something more significant happen in South Carolina tonight?
Well, I think something quite dramatic happened in South Carolina, perhaps the most dramatic event of this campaign so far. I mean, this is a more than 55% win. This is more than doubling Hillary Clinton. This is outpolling both of the other candidates. And yes, we do have to look at the demographics and where the votes split along not just racial lines, along economic lines, along education lines, one thing along geographic lines. Barack Obama won everywhere, all across the state. Hillary Clinton won one county, Myrtle Beach on the coast. John Edwards won, I think, 2 small counties, the one he was born in and another very small county upstate. This was extraordinary, and it certainly sends Barack Obama into that Tsunami Tuesday
yes.
with an awful lot of momentum.
Charles, how did he do it? Simple question. I'm sure it's a big answer, but how did he pull this off tonight?
He had some help, and some of it may have come from Bill Clinton. I think there is a certain degree of backlash involved here. People were not happy, and people close to the Clintons. I spent some time this morning with Donna Brazile, whom we know from CNN,
yes.
but who also was very close to the Clintons, ran the Al Gore campaign. She describes this as blood on the floor. It's going to take some mopping up, and it's going to take some healing. And we even heard Barack Obama in his remarks tonight talk about how contentious the race may get, but it's for a big prize. Talked about partisanship within his own party. Talk about being up against people who will do anything to get votes.
Yes.
And those were messages sent to Bill Clinton and Hillary, but certainly referring to what had transpired in the last week here.
Do you believe that the former president injected race, played the race card in South Carolina in a negative way?
Well, it's hard to believe that Bill Clinton, as savvy a politician as he is, doesn't do things with some calculation. You know, we saw the Clinton campaign panic after Iowa, started hitting heavily up in New Hampshire, pulled that one out, even surprising the pollsters and the pundits who thought Obama was going to win. And some people were looking at the polls here, which were running 10, 12, maybe 14% in the last couple of days, and saying, well, there's a chance Hillary can turn this around like New Hampshire. This wasn't New Hampshire. Not only did she not turn it around, that gap doubled in the last 2 days.
Hey, Charles, I'm curious. You listened to the victory speech tonight from Barack Obama. So positive, so uplifting. You've heard those words time and time and time again, change, and you've heard those words again and again from him. But as I'm watching it tonight, I'm wondering, how do you beat that if you're a competitor, if you're Hillary Clinton, if you're Romney, if you're McCain, how do you stop that message? What do you do?
Well, look at the faces that were behind him. A lot of young faces, a lot of enthusiasm. The way to change a campaign, to change an election, is to bring new people onto the scene. And Barack Obama seems to be the one candidate who can do that. So the challenge for anyone, be it Hillary Clinton or be it the Republicans, is to counter that. You've got your core, you've got your established partisans who are behind you, but Obama's bringing new people into the mix. Look at the numbers. Over 500,000 people voted in this primary today. That's a substantial increase, and you have to attribute that to Obama reaching out and inspiring some folks. So what do? I guess if you're Hillary, you've got to take some solace in the fact that we're going into 22 different states.
Yeah.
Some of those big states where she's going to have power and she's going to have organization. Some of those states, many of those states that don't have the substantial African-American vote here. And I'm always wary of casting it as a block vote, because it isn't. But the Hispanic vote that will be coming out in Florida, where there are no delegates, but California.
Right.
That's a different game.
It is something. Charles Bierbauer. Charles, great to see you as always. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Tony.
And let's show you more of Senator Barack Obama's passionate response to his big win in South Carolina. Here's the senator addressing supporters in Columbia.
We're up against the idea that it's acceptable to say anything and do anything to win an election. But we know that this is exactly what's wrong with our politics. This is why people don't believe what their leaders say anymore. This is why they tune out. And this election is our chance to give the American people a reason to believe again. But let me say this, South Carolina, what we've seen in these last weeks is that we're also up against forces that are not the fault of any one campaign, but feed the habits that prevent us from being who we want to be as a nation. It's the politics that uses religion as a wedge and patriotism as a bludgeon. A politics that tells us that we have to think, act, and even vote within the confines of the categories that supposedly define us. The assumption that young people are apathetic. The assumption that Republicans won't cross over. The assumption that the wealthy care nothing for the poor and that the poor don't vote. The assumption that African Americans can't support the white candidate. Whites can't support the African American candidate. Blacks and Latinos cannot come together. We are here tonight to say that that is not the America we believe in. Travel around this state over the last year and see a white South Carolina or a black South Carolina. I saw South Carolina. I saw crumbling schools that are stealing the future of black children and white children alike. I saw shuttered mills and homes for sale that once belonged to Americans from all walks of life, and men and women of every color and creed who serve together and fight together and bleed together under the same proud flag. I saw what America is, and I believe in what this country can be. That is the country I see. That is the country you see. But now it is up to us to help the entire nation embrace this vision. Because in the end, we're not up just against the ingrained and destructive habits of Washington. We're also struggling with our own doubts, our own fears, our own cynicism. The change we seek has always required great struggle and great sacrifice. And so this is a battle in our own hearts and minds about what kind of country we want and how hard we're willing to work for it.
Again, with 55% of Democratic support in the state of South Carolina, the Obama campaign now heads to Florida. Coming up after the break, hear how Hillary Clinton addressed coming in second.
You ever get the feeling everyone's having more fun than you? They are. It's time to play catch-up. Super inclusive Breezes Resorts. Everything you can eat, drink, and do is included. On some of the best beaches anywhere. Breezes. It blows the other guys away. Call 1-800-GO-SUPER.
The surprise hit of the year,
Juno,
is now nominated for 4 Academy Awards. Best Actress Ellen Page, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture of the Year.
Did you see that coming?
Juno is a perfect movie that reminds you of why you fell in love with movies in the first place.
You need to know 2 people can stay together forever.
The best it can do is find a person who loves you for exactly what you are.
Juno, rated PG-13, now playing everywhere.
At last, there's a better way to fight food cravings. A new, healthier, easier way to lose weight and get the body you want. Introducing the all-new Nutrisystem Advanced. It's simply the best program Nutrisystem has ever created. When you call today, Nutrisystem will send you 28 breakfasts, 28 lunches, 28 dinners, and 28 desserts. And through this special offer, they will send you 2 bonus weeks of the new Nutrisystem Advanced meals absolutely free.
Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that makes computer learning quick and easy with these CD-ROMs from Video Professor. I'm so confident that my product will work for you that I'll send you any one of my $80 lessons absolutely free. If you're serious about learning to run your computer once and for all, what do you got to lose? Try my product.
To get your free computer learning CD, you must call now.
Call 1-800-529-5402.
Senator Hillary Clinton is already trying to put the loss in South Carolina behind her. She's in Nashville, Tennessee tonight talking about the future, the Florida primary, and the contests coming up on Super Tuesday.
I want to congratulate Senator Obama tonight, and I want to also thank the people of South Carolina for welcoming us into their homes and their communities. And I want to tell you how excited I am that now the eyes of the country turn to Tennessee and the other states that'll be voting on February 5th. And of course to the state of Florida that will be voting on Tuesday. So millions and millions of Americans are going to have the chance to have their voices heard and their votes counted. And I can't imagine any place I'd rather be than right here in Nashville as we kick off the next 10 days. Now, of course, when anybody says the word Nashville, it's always connected with singing. And I promise you, you will not hear a word out of me. I do not want to, in any way, sully the reputation of the music capital by contributing my less than meager talents. But it is a great treat to be here with all of you and to have a chance to talk with you, and really that's what I want to do tonight. I know the crowd is a little bigger than we anticipated, but I intended to come here tonight to continue the conversation I started a year ago, to talk with the people of our country about what it is we can do together to make sure that we keep faith with this country we love so much. I know that it's often said the difference between a politician and a statesman is that the politician looks to the next election and the statesman looks to the next generation. And I want this election to be about the next generation, the students here at TSU and all the young people who are here tonight and across Tennessee. And what I have heard traveling around our country is, of course, the optimism and the resilience that is the character of the American people. But I've also heard a lot of concerns and worries. People worrying about their jobs, worrying about what's happening to the economy in general, worrying about their health care, worrying about college affordability and how they're going to be able to complete their educations, worried about our country's standing in the world and how we can restore our reputation, our leadership, and our moral authority. So there's a lot we can talk about tonight. And I want us just to imagine, even in the size of this crowd, that we're just talking. We're just people having a conversation about what we believe and what we want, what we hope, and that we're looking for solutions to our problems. Because I think there isn't anything America can't do if we put our mind to it.
You know, there is a good reason Senator Clinton is already moving on. Barack Obama won more than twice as many votes as she did in South Carolina. And as we've told you, Don Edwards came in third. You'll hear from him after a quick break.
Most people go through life following Plan A. It's predictable, it's expected, it's routine. But what if you're not a Plan A kind of person? Welcome to Plan B from Brother. Our new color laser printers and all-in-ones are for those who make the better choice, not the obvious one. With more performance, more speed, more affordability. So make the smarter decision. We call it Plan B. Brother, at your side.
CNN Monday night. President Bush's State of the Union, what it means to you, and the race for the White House. Live from the CNN Election Center. CNN Monday night, 8 Eastern.
The NBA season is in full swing and the action is heating up. NBA League Pass lets you see the hottest teams no matter where you live or where they play. The Suns are shining bright in the West, and the Celtics are streaking in the East. As a part of your subscription, see all the action online with NBA League Pass broadband. Order NBA League Pass from DirecTV for the special price of just $99. To order, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit DirecTV.com. Don't miss a minute of live NBA action. Get NBA League Pass now.
Next stop, Madison Square Garden. Stand clear of the closing doors.
The road to the grandest stage of them all begins at the Royal Rumble. 30 superstars will battle for a chance to headline WWE's most coveted destination.
WrestleMania!
Plus, Jeff Hardy challenges Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And Edge defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Rey Mysterio. WWE Royal Rumble, live Sunday, January 27th on DirecTV pay-per-view.
I was obese, 52 years old, physically unfit. I knew I had to do something.
My wife once told me, you need to do something, you look like you're going to explode.
With Nutrisystem, I'm in better shape now than I was in the Marine Corps.
It's time for you to lose weight, too. Order the all-new Nutrisystem Advanced.
This is me 44 pounds ago. I'm never going back to this.
Call or go online now to order your first 4 weeks of awesome food. And through this special offer, you can get an extra 2 weeks of meals absolutely free.
With Nutrisystem, I'm never hungry. In fact, it seems like I'm eating all day long.
Now I can take my shirt off and feel proud of the way I look.
Nutrisystem delivers every meal to your door, and shipping is free.
To be 44 and looking like this, it feels fabulous.
I feel great. I look great. Thank you, Nutrisystem.
For about $11 a day, you can eat like a man and start getting real results. Call or go online today and see how you can get a full 2 weeks of food free.
Susie Orman, She's Money. Larry King live tomorrow night.
Senator Barack Obama celebrating a big win tonight after a sweeping victory in South Carolina's Democratic primary. We have more from the Democratic candidates in their own words. Here's John Edwards after coming in a distant third in South Carolina.
I want to join Senator Clinton and President Clinton in graduating and congratulating Senator Obama. Now, the three of us move on to February 5th. Where millions of Americans will cast their vote and help shape the future of this party and help shape the future of America. Our campaign, from the very beginning, has been about one central thing, and that is to give voice to millions of Americans who have absolutely no voice in this democracy, to give voice to people like the woman I met in Kansas City a couple of years ago, who told me the story of working full-time and not being able to pay both her heating bill and her rent, and having to come home every night in the winter and dress her children in all of their clothes, in their coats, put them under blankets, and put them in bed together so they could stay warm. And she told me the story of getting them up every morning, out of the bed, fully clothed, with their coats on, feeding them and sending them off to school, and praying that no one would find out what was happening in her home because they would come and take her children away from her. No one should live like that in the United States of America. We are better than that. And we are giving voice to that extraordinary woman in Kansas City, admiring her strength and courage. We're giving voice to all those Americans whose voices are not being heard, and their voices were heard today in South Carolina. And so I say, if you are worried about your health care or you don't have health care in America, your voice will be heard in this campaign.
We will be back with a quick wrap of the South Carolina primary straight ahead in the CNN newsroom.
Beneful?
You're definitely thinking Beneful. With wholesome grains, real beef, even carrots and peas. You only think you're getting spoiled. Spoiled? And it's good for you, too.
Healthful, flavorful, Beneful.
Before taking any loan, you should know the terms.
CFSA member companies always follow state regulations to make payday advance terms clear. Now we're doing even more. All stores will display easy-to-read posters that show advance amount, fee, and APR.
Fees differ by company and state.
Look for the posters or go to knowyourfee.org before you take out a payday advance.
Making the fine print bigger,
that's responsible lending.
Always use payday advances responsibly.
1 out of 7 is not just a statistic. It's a father with leukemia, a friend with depression, a son with a heart ailment. 1 out of 7 of us is uninsured. To the American Medical Association, this is not just a statistic, it's a tragedy. Vote with this issue in mind. Visit voicefortheuninsured.org.
These days, it seems like they're trying to protect us from everything. Roll-On protects us from odor. Coffee has a warning label. This is hot. You think we're missing the point? Let's just keep our eye on the big ball. Protect us from the things that matter.
Quality and safety. Both can be yours with $1,000 cash back on a 2007 Santa Fe.
Excuse me. Knocking off a little early, huh? Oh, the server's full again. Well, I wonder who did that. So what do you suggest I do now?
Get big performance in a small package with the HP Blade System C3000 from CDW. The modular infrastructure is a versatile and affordable solution to help grow and secure your business. For the latest in HP servers, we're there, CDW.
CNN Thursday night, Dr. Sanjay Gupta reports government and the healthcare mess. What we found out will shock you. Families bankrupt, patients refused care, a broken government investigation, critical condition. Thursday after the CNN debate.
Closed captioning hours provided by Capital Federal True Blue for over 110 years.
Welcome to Capital Federal. How may I help you?
Bank anywhere, anytime with Capital Federal's True Blue mobile banking.
CNN calls it. South Carolina's Democrats choose Senator Barack Obama in a big way on primary day. Here are the numbers with just about all of the polling places reporting. Senator Barack Obama receives 55% of the South Carolina Democratic vote. That is more than double the support cast for his nearest rival, Senator Hillary Clinton, with 27%. Former Senator and South Carolina native John Edwards, he picks up 18% of the vote, and a distant